What's up, you beautiful people, and welcome back to the Can't Be Contained podcast. I have my amazing dear friend Adele on the show today, and gosh, this is one of those podcasts where I was like, I don't want this to end. I just feel like there was this sense of just realism and authenticity, and we just really stripped it back and really talked about entrepreneurship as a woman in business and what that's really like and what it takes. And we really broke down the qualities of what it is we get to embody as women in business and how we can show up and embody those qualities in advance so that when life gets lifey and business gets hard, we can move through it with a lot of grace. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned is business is a black hole of never-ending problems, right? And that's a good thing, right? It's like we're always solving things. But the question is, how do we show up to those problems? And when we have a heightened identity and when we allow ourselves to step into every single problem with that queen identity, with that I got this identity, with our hearts open, our minds clear, it makes the things that we do so much easier. So we really talk about the ideal energetic archetype we need in order to flow through business and create these soul-led businesses that just light our lives on fire. And we also talk about really how to navigate challenge in business, how to navigate challenge so that the failures, quote unquote, of business don't take us out, but they're just constantly learning opportunities. And one of my absolute favorite quotes is, if you lose, don't lose the lesson. And oh my gosh, like I can feel that gutturally in my body, even as I say that, because the amount of times where that's been my saving grace through the ups and downs of business has been just so epic. So I'm so excited for you to dive into this episode. You're going to feel like you're just hanging out with us in my living room because it was very down to earth, casual, and just really beautiful. So I'm excited for you to listen to it. If you guys are starting your coaching business or you have a coaching business and you are looking for a platform to run your coaching business on, I cannot recommend High Level enough. You guys, I've been on every platform, multiple platforms. And I remember back in 2023 where we had so many different tech platforms that were all sort of connected with each other, but breaking all the time. And it was like this big headache. I moved over to High Level where our entire business is on one platform. And I can't even tell you how much of an exhale that's been. I've partnered with them to give you a free 30-day trial. So you can go to pausebreathwork.com/high level, pausebreathwork.com/high level. And honestly, if I was just starting out my coaching business, I would go with High Level because the cool thing about it is it grows with you and you can constantly add things as you need it, but it's not this gigantic complex system from day one. There's a lot of simplicity from day one. And then as you need different things, you can keep adding. So highly recommend it. Go to pausebreathwork.com/high level. All right, let's get right into today's episode.
Can't be contained.
Adele, welcome to the Can't Be Contained podcast. How you doing, girl?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing so good. I've been looking forward to this chat because I just feel like I love you. I'm so grateful that we've connected, and this just feels like coffee chats, you know?
I know. I literally have a fresh coffee
Ooh,
ready to chat to you. Like, I
yeah,
got ready for this.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been so cool building a friendship, a sisterhood, a connection with you over the last couple months. It's been so special. It's been so amazing dropping in with you and getting to get a glimpse of your genius, which I really, truly just have got a glimpse of. I'm so excited through this conversation and through the deepening of our friendship to go deeper and deeper into that. And I've heard from multiple people in multiple different circles that Adele's coaching is otherworldly and insanely life changing. And I'm just so stoked to get into your brain a little bit and learn your come from when it comes to coaching, learn how you are able to create insane transformations for women and just like, yeah, just like love bomb, value bomb this audience. Like, let's go.
Well, I love that you heard that. I mean, it's better than hearing she's a shit ass coach. I don't know, she's still around.
How does she make millions a year?
Yeah.
What the hell is she selling back there?
Totally. Yeah, I think that in this world right now and in the coaching mentorship space, like your reputation is the most important thing. So I don't take it lightly when people say kind things about me.
Mm.
And I think integrity plays such a big part of that. But anyway, we can go on so many tangents. I'm going to let you lead the way.
What pisses you off about the coaching industry right now?
Oh, let's
We're
fucking
just gonna start with a banger right out of the gate. Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, I've been in the coaching industry for 15 years now, so I've seen. I feel like I've seen it all, and I feel like it goes
go.
through so many waves and whatever. I'm curious your perspective. What's going on over there?
So that's a two-pronged answer. So do you mean what pisses me off about other coaches or what pisses me off about being a coach?
Tell me everything. Tell me what annoys you. Tell me the change that you want. Tell me what creates like a. Ugh. Give me your ick.
So yeah, I mean it's actually interesting because I talk about this a lot in my own mind around what because when I see a problem or I see something that pisses me off, my mind goes to then be the solution, Adele.
Right.
Right? Like be the opposite of that.
Right.
So what pisses me off in the coaching sphere in general is that I truly feel that we're moving into an age of embodiment. Like it's
Mm.
not enough as a coach or mentor to be like blah 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 regurgitated the same material that you've heard someone else say.
Yeah.
Basically like just transcribe, oh I heard Danielle Laporte say this, so let me say that, and then I've heard Adele use that, so let me say that. But the thing is that we're moving into this age of embodiment where it's not enough to understand the information. Your, I think, responsibility as a coach is to be embodied in the work that you teach
100%.
so that people you can
Yeah.
transmit that wisdom. And that means like I don't need to be
Yeah.
embodied in everything because I'm not a relationship coach, okay? But I am embodied in the work that I teach. So what pisses me off is when I see other people on the internet just like what is it, swindling? Like just
Mhm.
taking stuff from other people and then
Mm.
regurgitating it as their own and not crediting where it came from, but also
Mm.
just not embodying it. So there's
Mm.
like a disconnect, or I call it a double binding message, where it's like you feel the ick or you feel that something's off. And it's not that the person is bad or wrong. It's just that they're like, I can't tell you how many people come into my work or my world and they call themselves like a wealth coach, but they're broke. No, and it's like a for real though. And I'll be
It's actually funny because in what other industry does that shit fly? Like
like,
business coaches who've never had a business. Like I've built $3 million businesses. I still don't consider myself a business coach.
I know. So like exactly because we're in an unregulated field, you could say like I'm a quantum vaginal manifester, and people are like, cool, oh my god, so amazing. And you're like, that's not a thing, guys.
You're like, you don't even have a vagina. Like that's what we're getting to right now in the coaching industry. Like, what is even happening? But you know what gives me so much inspiration is
Mm,
I feel like customers are getting wiser and
yes,
customers are becoming more aware
yes.
of what is the truth
Hmm.
and what is just lipstick on a pig. And that's what gives me so much hope for our industry right now. I know for my buyers, like my audience is like very connected, very attuned, like they can smell bullshit a mile away.
Yeah,
And I think that's a lot of the reason why people choose to work with myself or you or people who are of high integrity who've been in the work for years is they feel it, they feel it. It's like very easy to be performative and it's very easy to spot being performative.
totally. And this is what I'm saying. It's no shade, and so I say this from such a place of unconditional love and non-judgment because we've all been there. That's the ugly side of all of us, where you're pretending to be someone that you're not, or you're not fully embodied, but you want to make the money. We've all been there. And so when someone comes to me and like when you say like you've heard that my coaching is like life changing, it's because like this is how I would coach said person. This person comes to me and says, I want to have a breakthrough. Like, I want to work with you. And I'll be like, why? I want to have a breakthrough around my financial set point, my money, my belief around my worth. Amazing. What do you do for a living? I'm a wealth coach. What's your financial situation? I'm broke. I would say, no, literally, I would say immediately change your Instagram handle. You are putting out a double binding message. You
Mm,
cannot call yourself that until that's the work that you've embodied. Like,
yeah.
it's truly getting to the root of with loving compassion, showing people sides of themselves that are maybe blind spots. Or for me, what I do is I
Mm,
really connect dots for people that they don't see are connected. Like I had this incredibly powerful
mm,
conversation with a client today around generosity. And because I talk so much about the laws of the universe and the subconscious mind and how we're communicating through our subconscious mind to the unified field, I'm very much about any place that we're not in alignment or we're in resistance, we're like kinking up the chain of like
right,
manifestation. So
right.
we can't bring in something when we're in resistance. So I was having this deep conversation. She was struggling in an aspect of her business. And I literally had this intuitive insight. I've known this person for a long time. And I said, "How generous do you feel in your life?" And she was like,
Mm.
"Good." And I was like, and I don't mean just financially. I mean, generosity financially is one aspect. I'm talking
Mhm.
about generosity of spirit, generosity of giving without expecting in return, just being of service for the people that are
Mm.
there for you, like giving a compliment, giving acknowledgement, giving your word, your deed, your creed. Like, how generous are you? And we unpacked this whole conversation around that she felt like she couldn't give because it was like taking something from her.
Right, right, right.
And I was like, well, that's the kink.
Mm. Mm.
So I think we're called into, as coaches and mentors, it's not enough to be dangling in the superficial aspects. I think it's like we're called to go so much deeper, deeper
Yeah.
inside of ourselves and deeper
Mm.
inside of the conversations that we're having with people.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
so what pisses me off in coaching, to answer that question, is like the lack of integrity or alignment.
Yeah.
And I do believe people are getting wiser, but I still feel that because the trust economy is so low sometimes in the online space, I'm actually still shocked, Sam, that people still follow some of these people.
Mhm.
I'm like, part of me feels like being like, this is not real. And then I'm like,
Mm. Mm.
that's not my role,
Mm.
Adele. Just stay in your lane. And then what
Mm.
pisses me off in this space as a mentor, I've been in this work for 22 years, and like I really have heard and seen it all. um, I think the hard thing for me, we kind of talked about this before, is people projecting expectations onto me or just projecting in general. And
Mhm.
how do you hold the dualistic nature of life when
Mm.
you're looked at, like you're put on a pedestal one minute and then the next minute you want to be taken off the pedestal, and there's like perfection or like
Mm.
something that people are
Yeah.
placing on you.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I think we can lose our sense of humanity, like
Yeah.
where people think we're not human. Like, at the end of the day, we're just two women doing our absolute best with lives outside of our businesses.
For sure.
So I would say those are the pieces.
I want to circle back for a second to this whole idea of like the whole like wealth coach saying that she's a wealth coach to make money. Like there's that is being bred in our industry right now. That never was a thing when I started. Like that was not a thing. Like I
No?
don't know when that I think it was like 2020 that all started where like everyone and their dog was a wealth coach like talking about like I'm serious like the chihuahuas were fucking wealth coaches. I'm like guys, this is getting crazy now. Okay? Like but it, but God.
My 9-year-old son's a wealth coach. I mean, he actually is a very good wealth coach because he's heard me talk about money since inception. But yeah, it got crazy in
It got
2020.
crazy and it still is crazy and it's still happening. But I think like the thing that I am like, yo, here's the vibe. It's like, don't do what you think is gonna make money. Because
Yes.
that is going to be so short lived. Like, you're going to do that for a year. Sure, you'll make bank for a year, but then your soul will be like, I'm not here to do this. I
Mhm.
am not here to make women richer. I am not here. And if that is truly your thing and that feels so good for you, like let's fucking go. Like I feel like I definitely don't consider myself a wealth coach, but I definitely feel like I'm so stoked on
Yeah.
helping women, like same thing with you, right? It's not like my whole brand, but it's like it definitely excites me and I feel deeply in integrity because
Mhm.
I've made money in three other verticals that have nothing to do with teaching people how to make money, right? So
Mhm.
there's context there, but it's like it's things are so short-lived, businesses are so short-lived when you're not doing the thing that your soul, that God hired you to do. Like, it is so short-lived. Like, you will do it because everyone else is doing it, and oh, she's making bank and she's making bank. Okay, change Instagram bio, get a photo shoot, let's fucking go. And then like 9 months later, you're like, I'm so bored of this because it's not actually what God hired me to do. And
Yeah.
I think, I tell my clients, I tell my students all the time, keep your day job until you find the thing that your soul is here to do,
Mhm.
because don't chase a shiny object thinking that it's just going to make money, because it will eat you alive, and it's
100%.
expensive to do that. Really operate from soul, and when we operate from soul, we can find alignment, and then we have sustainability. Like I tell my students all the time, I will die on the mountain of breathwork. I will, like, that is what God hired me to do here. Like, I will die on that mountain. I am obsessed with it. I will do it until I croak,
Yeah.
but if I was 1 degree off of what God hired me to do, and I was trying to be like you, Adele, I'd
Mhm.
last 5 minutes trying to do what you do.
This is literally the conversation I've had with three people today, and I led in my realm program yesterday. Can we just pause and like talk about when you're in coherence with other people, like the
Mm,
message of God is meant to come through. I also
yeah.
love how you keep saying like God hired me. Like that is so you need a t-shirt that said God hired me
God
too.
hired me. I always tell Eric, I'm like, I hired you to help me look at these parts of me to heal them.
I
What a
hired you.
great hire. Good looking hire.
Yeah, I feel so this is such an interesting context. I think that there's such a razor's edge between admiration and imitation.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I'm hearing my voice back like reverberating all of a sudden.
I don't hear that,
Okay, that's okay. As long
but
as
so I don't think it's going to be on the recording. But if
okay,
it's annoying, let me know and we'll figure something out.
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
So, I think that the shiny object syndrome that exists in this space, like I have a lot of clients who come into my world, they have other careers and then they want to become a coach because it's inspiring to them. And I
Yeah.
love that.
Mm,
And I start to see that they're starting to sound a lot like me.
yeah.
And I think that it's such a programmed part of us, like as children, if you think about how children learn as they imitate.
Mm,
And it's so natural. And like I say this from such compassion and unconditional love because I've done the work for so long that very little triggers me
yeah.
anymore. Like a lot of this used to trigger me. I'd be like, how dare they copy what I'm doing? Now I just see it as like, uh, they're inspired by me and they just don't yet know how to use their voice.
For sure. For sure.
So
For
then
sure.
they just use my voice. And then they wonder why, it's not clicking. And this is the piece that's important. And I literally led this conversation yesterday in my program. Every one of us, Sam, is a messenger of like we're like prophets that are like messengers of God in the work that we
Mm-hmm.
do. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
see myself. And like this career was chosen for me. Like how
Right.
I didn't grow up being like I'm gonna be a coach and like talk about activating women's power.
For sure. For sure.
It's not like I'm going to be an astronaut. Like the nuanced way that this came to be for me, studying psychology and all of that, and then human behavior, and then it transcended into this and this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is nothing short of like just God's path and purpose for me that I just followed
Yeah.
and like stepped into this.
Mm,
And when you're here to deliver a message, and your message is breath work, my message is subconscious mind rewiring, nervous, whatever it is, the frequency of our voice is a frequency and it's healing and it's part of what calls
yeah.
people in.
Yeah.
And like this last ceremony that I did, I think that I shared, like I really saw that like my voice had a frequency to transform people, but it's only for the people that are ready to hear my frequency.
Or else it'll trigger them.
Or they just won't
Yeah.
even hear it. It's like a dog
Yeah.
that hears
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
sounds. We
Right.
don't, right?
Right. Right.
So I look at me like I'm for the woman that's like a dog that can hear my voice. Like
It's like what Eric tells me to unload the dishwasher. For some reason, I just don't hear it. Like I don't know. I just
it's like, yeah, when I'm like, Ilya, clean your room, and he's like, what room? Like, so it's seriously like I truly have been tuning into this idea
yeah.
that like my voice
Mhm.
is my frequency
Yeah.
of how I distill the truth,
Yeah.
and it's for the person. They gravitate to it because they're ready. Their soul is ready to hear it, and same thing with
Right.
you.
Right.
and we just have these like different frequencies. And when someone is trying to mimic a frequency that's not theirs, to your point, because they're trying to do it for outcomes, it's not only short-lived, but I don't even think you can make bank, because I think it's so out of alignment, because we're coming into this era where people can sniff that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I was saying to my clients yesterday, and what I'm really, really feeling called to say, is that we don't need more imitation. We need women and men and people to own and step into their own power and authority in their own, whether it's expression through voice or set, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's like you step into your own divine blueprint, because there's only one of you on this planet with your spiritual DNA and your genetic coding and everything. And like, let's stop trying to be like Sam or like Adele or like this person, and just be you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's double click into that, because if someone is wanting to be Adele and speak like you, the core belief must be, I don't have a voice, or my voice doesn't matter, or I don't know how to find my voice, or I haven't found that thing yet.
Yeah.
So for people who are listening and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not super being authentic online. I mean, I don't think many people would imitate me, because I talk shit and I embarrass myself every single day on Instagram. So
I love you.
don't try to imitate me, guys. Okay.
I embarrass myself.
Like the shit that I say on Instagram, like, come
I
on,
love it.
Sam.
Okay, but let me
But I
double click.
can't not. Like, okay, I'm just quick story before you answer that question. 2020, I got like mini canceled. Like I wouldn't say I got like canceled, but I just told a joke about COVID and then lost like, I don't know, what was it, 7,000 followers in 5 minutes or something like that.
Seriously?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 I was just whatever. I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. The quote was, COVID-19 is like eating raw cookie dough. We all know the risks. Now just let us live our lives. They were pissed. They were pissed. Anyway, so I think when that happened, I was like, oh my Lord, when I am my authentic, because that's me, you know me. I joke about everything always. Like, and I'm not like, it's just me. Like,
Yep.
and I make fun of everything always, because that's how I live my life. Like, like,
Totally.
that's just, like I got range, I got depth, and of course, but I love laughing and I love lightness, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, and so, but in that moment, the story I created was like, when I am my fullest authentic self on social, bad things happen to me. Which
Totally.
like is like, if we look at the recent issues, and with Charlie Kirk, like
Yeah.
there's a reality where that is true, right?
Yes. Yes.
However, what feels more suffocating?
Yeah.
Suppressing your truth and being what everyone wants and being really vanilla, or actually just fucking standing up for what you
Yeah.
believe in, saying the thing, joking, being you, and
Yeah.
letting the chips fall as they may.
Totally. So let me go back to what you let me go back to what you said something really profound, which is, so if someone is listening and going, yeah, like I can resonate with that. I've maybe tried to imitate before, or it's easier to use someone else's voice than my own. Like, if we go back to like on the timeline and drop into the experience, like what's the core wound that the person has? And the core wound is there's only two: I'm not good enough, or I'm not lovable. So when we have an I'm not good enough core wound, or I'm not worthy, they're interchangeable. So I always say, like, drag the timeline back into like the moment when you were a small kid and you made a decision that you weren't good enough. That usually happens prior to the age of 2. Literally, the conscious mind isn't formed until 7. So everything going on around the child prior to 7 gets literally converted right to the subconscious mind,
Yeah.
and it becomes a truth. Like, it
Yeah.
becomes a belief that's rooted in absolute truth, because the child doesn't know how to discern, is this right? Is this wrong? Does this
Yeah.
feel right? Everything becomes truth. And so children develop a core wound prior to the age of 2. I'm not lovable is often linked to like mom or dad maybe weren't available or around. There was like maybe neglect. I'm not good enough is usually, punishment for doing things wrong, etc. So we all have a core wound. That's the truth. Every human on the planet is born into that, because unless we reach the age of such enlightenment, Sam, that everyone is walking around in Christ consciousness, I just don't think that that's a realistic thing. I feel like we all have to understand that we come into this world whole, perfect, and complete, and then conditioning
For sure.
teaches us things
For
about
sure.
ourselves that aren't true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
back to the point around, if I have this belief inherent in myself that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, okay, and then I meet someone who is demonstrating that they feel worthy and good enough, it's easy to pick up on their, I want to pick up on their frequency because I feel like I'm tethering to their belief, right? But that's what I mean. There's this razor's edge between what I say to my clients, believe in my belief, but it's also like, but be your own person.
Yeah.
So I think that people, when they're imitating or they're afraid to be authentic, yes, something happened in their earlier years where like when they use their voice, something bad happened, etc. And then what happens is, confirmation bias. We're constantly creating situations in our life that put us back in the positions that we were to confirm the belief that when I use my voice, something bad
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, look, something bad might happen when I use my voice or don't use my voice.
For
Life
sure.
is
For sure.
happening.
For sure.
And we draw causal relationships to things that are not causal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, for example, you used your voice, you made a joke in 2020 that wasn't found funny to certain people, right? That being said, my view of that is like, great, get the fuck off my Instagram. If you can't handle my humor now, I'm surely going to say
Yeah.
something that pisses you off. But
Yeah.
then you look at someone like Joe Rogan, and this is like, I want to get to the place, like I've definitely gotten to places in my life now where I give a lot less fucks about what people think. But I'm not yet at Joe Rogan status, which is like, Joe's like, I'm going to be and say exactly who I am, and I'm going to deal with the consequences that come with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the piece that people don't understand is that when you speak your truth, and I think we are in an era where the truth, especially coming from love, is so damn important.
Mm-hmm.
When you speak your truth, there will always be a polarity. There will be the people that are like, fucking yes, Sam, you're the shit queen. And then there are people that are just canceling you because the truth, that truth is so triggering to
For
them.
sure. For sure. For
So
sure.
I think it's
Yeah.
about leadership is about being willing to lose people along the way,
Yeah. 100%.
which is
100%.
hard.
100%. Quick little pause here because I need to let you in on something that has honestly changed how I run my business. It was so overwhelming. We had so many different tools, emails, funnels, scheduling things, pipelines, payments. It was honestly such a mess. And then I discovered Go High Level. It's literally an all-in-one platform where I can run my entire business under one roof. You guys, it feels so good to go into one platform and see all of our dashboards, the money that we make, the clients that came in, where everybody is. It is so clean and so easy. The automated follow-ups are amazing. The landing pages are amazing. You can even run your memberships and online programs on Go High Level. It's honestly freaking awesome. It doesn't just save me money. It has given me back my sanity in my business because I have complete clarity and confidence where everything is. So if you've been looking for a way to streamline your business, to scale faster, to remove the headaches of like tech and all of that complication and just get back to doing what you freaking love, I have partnered with Go High Level to give you guys a 30-day experience so you can test drive it yourself, see how you love it. Just head on over to pausebreathwork.com/high level. That's pausebreathwork.com/high level. I will also put the link to the free trial in the show notes. And seriously, once you see how powerful this is, you're going to wonder how you freaking ran your business without it. So go to pausebreathwork.com/high level. Yeah. Yeah. I historically had a very deep people pleaser inside of me that was holding me back from speaking my truth and mostly just online, which was a really interesting experience. Like, with my friends, I've never had that. I've never been a people pleaser or a perfectionist really in my friendship group, but like online, I think there's such a primal like survival
Like,
connection
yeah.
to it because it's like my personal brand is connected to my business, which employs all of these people, which is responsible for all of these expenses and all of these, like there's such a ripple effect of what I say.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to really over the years, like get with the part of me that's like, it doesn't matter. And being truthful with love,
Hmm.
fantastic nuance, truth
Yeah.
with love
Yeah.
is so important and
Yeah.
so needed in this reality. You know, I was over the weekend I had coffee with one of my girlfriends, and I am not agreeing with some of her life choices at the moment.
Mm.
I love this human dearly.
Yeah.
I have so much love for her. The ways in which she's operating in her life right now, I'm not aligned to at all.
Okay.
And so I got to have a conversation with her and just with so much love, speak so much truth. And it
Mhm.
was so liberating and so beautiful. You
Yeah.
know, like I felt so much closer to her at the end of the conversation. And I feel like I took a stand for her greatness, and I took a stand for her higher self, and it
Yeah.
was it was so beautiful. And it's
Yeah.
like what if we were to yeah, it's like what would the world look like if we all had the confidence to not worry about the backlash of speaking our truth? We just spoke it, like Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
Like Charlie Kirk, like a lot of these people who are like, hey, this is what I believe in, this is my mission, I'm going to speak this
Yeah.
truth, I'm going to let the chips fall as they may, and it's actually okay.
Yeah.
And I wonder, it's like, what is that inside of us that,
Hmm.
kind of relating to your body of work around identity of, is that a certain identity? Is that just deeper self-love? Like I wrote this quote on Instagram years ago that said, the more self-love we have, the less fucks we give. And I totally believe that, right? It's like the more I love myself, the more I am in right relationship with myself, the
Yeah.
less I need approval from the world, from whatever it is. But I'm curious, it's like, how do we get to that Joe Rogan level, Charlie Kirk level?
So, I mean, this is this is everything. Like I feel like this has been where I've been in deep contemplation because there's still places, and I echo exactly what you said, where I was also a reformed people pleaser, but I
Mm,
was definitely a people pleaser like all over my life. Like if
mm,
a friend invited me to do something, I would go even though everything in my body was like no. I would override and self-betray all the time. And when we override and self-betray, this is even for people listening, we literally diminish our own self-trust, which is linked to our self-esteem and our self-efficacy. This is literally where like self-worth gets birthed or dies when we self
right.
betray, meaning that we say yes when we want to say no, or we say no when we want to say yes, when we're not living in alignment with our truth, like our own truth, our own authority.
Okay, but how do people find that? Because I think a lot of times people are like, I don't even know what my truth is.
Yeah. So I'll get there in a second.
Okay.
But I was a people pleaser, and then I started to do the deeper work, and it all brought me, everything goes back to our childhood. Just
Mm,
like the work is, any work that you look at, the body of work is truly like our childhood conditioning truly informs every thought, feeling, and action that we
mm,
take
mm,
because it's just unconscious and we don't even realize we're running patterns until we realize we're running patterns.
for
And when
sure.
we become aware that we're running a pattern called people pleaser, because that's not like a thing, right? You don't open up someone's brain and see like, oh, people pleaser. Like you don't need a partial lobotomy. It's literally like, oh, I inherited a pattern from my parents or caregivers that said that I have to please others
Yeah.
over myself.
Mm,
Okay? Which is like linked to martyrdom. Like others come before me.
right.
And so there's safety in that for people because if in childhood you got in trouble for putting yourself first, the first thing that happens is you start to feel shame about that. Like, how
Right.
dare I put my fucking self first?
Mm,
You're so selfish. Like, how many of us heard, I grew up hearing I was so selfish for putting myself first. So what did I learn? Fuck me. I'm going to put others first.
yeah.
So I did that. I did that in relationships. I did that with men. I did that with everywhere. And the first reclamation of myself that I got in doing this deeper work was like, no, I fucking come first because I am the
Mm,
center of my own universe.
mm,
If
mm,
I'm not looking out for me, who's looking out for me? It is
mm,
self-betrayal to put others first above myself.
mm-hmm,
And then
mm-hmm.
I learned that tenfold becoming a mom, where it was
Yeah.
like baby's only as good as mummy. Mummy's
Yeah.
health dictates baby's well-being. And all of this, that's a whole other tangent around all these moms that are making themselves martyrs for their kids. It's like, no,
For
you're
sure.
teaching your kids the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I really, my body of, so my work for myself, Sam, was like getting into relationship with those wounded parts of me that felt that my safety and survival, which is how most kids think, like is linked to my caregivers. Like
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
need them to survive.
Mm.
So the
Mm.
primordial brain, the subconscious mind, even when I talk to 50-year-olds and they're people pleasers, I'm like, bro, we're going back in time to when you were 4 because that's a
Mm.
4-year-old expression. Because you now consciously understand you do not need anyone for your survival, correct? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
correct. So the wounded part of you is like, if I'm not pleasing mom and dad, they might abandon me. And if they abandon me, I might die.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when I see, so take that and put it onto online. It's only exacerbated
Mm.
because in 2020 is when cancel culture started. Cancel
Mm.
culture wasn't even really a thing before. But all of a sudden, we 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 jump into COVID, and then we jump into all these things that are happening in the world. There's so much polarization. And all of a sudden, we as society agree that it's okay to cancel somebody for a different perspective. And then
Mm.
we jump on that bandwagon that somehow that's appropriate,
Yeah.
right? And so then what happens is it heightens, Sam, our fear of speaking our truth. And I even feel that for me now. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm a truth speaker. I really don't struggle to say a lot of things, but if I'm being radically honest, there are things that Dave and I talk about at our kitchen table that I would not dare say online because
Mm.
because my livelihood depends on it too. And so does my team and my family. And there's still that fear that you'll get cast off the island, which
Mm.
is linked to our fear of being abandoned. Because if we're abandoned, then we're
Yeah.
alone and then we might die. Yeah,
So what's interesting is in the thought exercise that I was going through with Eric the other day with this exact same conversation is Eric goes, "What if you speaking your fullest truth would actually do the exact opposite?"
totally.
And I
Well,
think he's right. I
yeah,
think that's true. Like if I was really, really honest
yeah,
about how
okay.
I feel about certain things and stuff.
Which I'm like, I want to know what you would say if you could. But here, I want to say something because this is where I was going. Eric is completely right.
I know.
So the higher side of us, yeah.
He's like,
Where's
"Can you play
Eric?
that one more time? Play
Yeah,
it one more time.
Eric,
Rewind." What did Adele say?
Eric, you are 100%.
It's going to be
So,
music to his ears.
oh yeah, because here's the thing: how how we stay manipulated in the matrix, so to speak, is that we stay in this sphere of I will only push the limit as much as I feel that I'll still be safe. And we
Yeah. Yeah,
know
100%. I feel that in my system when you say that, for sure.
totally. Like I'm willing to push it and I'll talk about this and I'll talk about that. But what I'm unwilling to talk about, well, that's where the magic happens. Because then you go look at the Joe Rogans and the other people. Like he's the first person that comes to mind. Kim Anami is another one. So I don't know if you follow Kim Anami, but she's like a sex coach. Like she does intimacy. Go follow her. She's unbelievable. I did one of her programs during COVID. And I literally, Sam, I got to tell you the story because for the people listening, this is like literally what I aspire to be. So I'm on this call with Kim and Ami, and she's got about 500 women in this course. And the course was around, um, so Dave and I did the couples course, and then I did the women's course. It was called Well Fucked Woman. Okay.
Hmm.
So
I
first of all,
interviewed her on this podcast like years ago,
did
but
you?
I haven't seen her in like 5, 6 years. But anyway, keep going.
Okay. So she's got this course called Well Fucked Woman. I'm not even plugging Kim, but like I'm plugging her like she's fucking amazing. So never mind. So we do the course. I then do the women's course. And as an aside, totally transformed my life and relationship with Dave, but that's as an aside. So I'm on this Zoom call, Sam. This is like the height of COVID, like 2022. So we were still in it, 2021, 2022. And she's got about 500 women on the Zoom room. And one woman, and Kim's work is about sex being a healing
Mm,
conduit in
mm.
relationships, etc. And this one woman asked this question. I swear, I had Dave re-listen to the call because I was like, she's my spirit animal. So this one woman goes, so Kim, are you telling me, because Kim was saying that she was against the vaccine because of the shedding and all the things, and that she would not have sex with a man who was vaccinated. And this woman asks the question. She's like, well, my husband is vaccinated. Are you saying I shouldn't have sex with him? And she was like, correct. Literally, like 400 people dropped off the call. Okay.
What?
And she just stood there in her equanimity, in her truth. And she was like, this is my container. These are my beliefs. These are my, you're never going to get me to believe
Mm,
the opposite. And if
mm.
you are not okay with that, then that's okay. You're free to leave. I would not allow that semen to come into me. And I was like this, Sam. But not even because of what she said, because whether I agree with that or disagree
How
with that is irrelevant.
brave. It's like the bravery.
Dude,
It's like
I was
whether you agree with her or not, being brave enough to smack down like that in front of 500 people who clearly they're not all aligned with your beliefs is like, wow.
And I
Oh,
literally was like, so how that, what the mirror for me was, like
that's
like
wild.
I realized I'm I'm terrified to say that. I'm terrified to speak my truth in those ways. I'm terrified. And
Yeah.
like it was such a catalyst for me to witness Kim for those 8 weeks together in that program where she unequivocally spoke her truth, backed by lots of research, by the way,
Yeah.
and shed a very different perspective in a time where everyone was
Mm,
going in one direction. She was willing to
mm,
stand on a
mm-hmm,
cliff and
mm-hmm.
say, no, I would not do that because here's why. Not just I wouldn't, but here's why I wouldn't. And I remember like
Especially in like a paid program, or right? Like if we really go down to like the
yeah,
financials and the primal survival body, it's like in
none
a
of it.
paid program where y'all probably paid a couple $1,000s to be in there.
Correct.
Then dropping something like that, like I can just imagine the customer service inbox after that, like refund request, refund request, refund request. Like you know what I mean? Like it's crazy, you know? Like
So here's the part that I wanted to point to that around Eric being correct. Because don't forget, Eric's right. So he's going to need to listen.
that's gonna be the soundbite of this podcast. Eric is right. Eric is right. Eric is right.
So let's say 300, I'm exaggerating when I say 400 people signed off, but there was a significant drop off in, like you could see on Zoom, like people coming
Mhm.
off. And yet the flip side of that, because there's always the flip side, is it made me love her even more.
Right.
So the people that are meant for you will never leave you if they're meant for you,
Yeah.
meaning that I was almost like, I have your level, my respect for you, whether I agree with everything you've said or disagree. And that's another piece. Like, you don't need to fucking agree with all of it to respect it.
For sure. For
I
sure.
was like, this chick is sitting there fully self expressed in her own container, might I add, sharing her wisdom that we've paid for.
Mm.
And people are flopping off like fucking penguins because they're so terrified to be confronted with
Mhm.
anything that represents
Yeah.
anything different than what they believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Which
the
is so wild. It's so like, why have we become so soft in our
well, yes,
humanity where we can't be in healthy connection with other people who have an opposing belief? Like, that is so crazy to me. When we were in Austin, no, where were we last? Toronto.
yeah,
I think I told you this already. And I wrote a post about it, but my best friend was randomly in Toronto, my childhood best friend,
yes,
right?
yes,
And we have
yeah,
completely separate political beliefs. Like we're on different sides of the conversation. And I brought up Charlie and blah blah blah, and she's like, I don't agree with, and I'm like, okay, cool. Do you want to talk about it? And we had the best conversation. And it was so loving, so connected, so empathetic. I explained to her, like, hey, babe, this is where I stand on this, and here's why, and here's my beliefs. And like, I am not in the business of trying to change anyone's beliefs. Like, you gotta want that, right? So,
Yeah.
and then she was like, hey, here's what I believe, da da da. And I'm like, amazing. And we got to like really be with each other in our differences. And there were some things that I said, she's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, or I haven't thought of it that way, or I didn't do that research. And I'm like, yeah. And then there were some things that she said where I was like, I can totally see why you feel that way based on your worldview and your values and where you live and blah, blah, blah. And it was just so beautiful. And then at the end of the conversation, we just hugged it out and we're like, want to go get some food? You know, it's like, I love that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, but that takes a level of awareness that sadly most people are not willing to be in the discomfort of being confronted around everything that they've believed their entire life, because it becomes, in psychology we call it cognitive dissonance. And dissonance is like, if you tell me something, Sam, that is opposite to everything I've laid my stake on, then what is true?
Right.
And so,
Right.
me as a truth seeker and you as a truth seeker, I'm always asking what is true.
Okay, so let's go back to that question though.
Yeah. Okay.
How do we find our truth?
Yeah.
And then
Hmm.
something came up in my life mastermind the other day where one of my clients was like, I just don't have time to research everything and make a POV. And I get that side of it too. So let's go with like,
What's true for
how
you?
do we excavate and resuscitate our own truth to be able to stand in it, communicate it, and believe in it? And then let's go with that question first.
Yeah. So I think that's such a great question. And I think that there's layers to that. So I think it depends on where we're starting. So let's say we're starting, because I don't, the people listening, I want this to inspire thinking at every level. So when you're just getting started, and I look at myself even a decade ago, and I was starting to be in the inquiry of like, what is true? What is
Right.
true for me?
Right.
And I think at that stage, the person needs to start to excavate. They need to start doing some deep reflection on where in my life are things not working? Like, where is there, like, just really back to basics. Like, where is my gut telling me something, or how does my body feel when I say yes, when I want to say no? Like, we're just getting into like the somatic, like,
Yeah.
sensations of like, what's going on with my intuition? Like, where have I said yes to something, but I meant to say no? And then, like, what was the outcome of that? So, like, at the beginning stages, like, finding your truth is about looking at your results and going, like, where in my life am I misaligned, or things not working the way that I want them to? So, somewhere along the way,
Yeah,
I betrayed myself, or
for
somewhere
sure.
along the way, I lied to myself, or somewhere along the way, I people pleased, or etc. So, I think, like, at the beginning level, it's just like tuning in and becoming just aware, like putting a light on yourself. Okay. Then at the next phase, it's like, you know, so if you look at human design, for example, I'm a Manny Gen with a sacral authority. So the sacral authority for me is like, and I've always been this way, like, I know in my gut instantly if something's a yes or a no, but I overrode it so much with logic. So a lot of people override their gut with logic. So the gut will say, no, don't do that with that person. But the logic is like, yeah, but it could make me money. And then you fucking do the thing that you didn't want to
Mm,
do, and it
mm, mm,
causes so much
mm.
chaos.
Yeah,
So when you are
yeah,
living in chaos, that's a sign of misalignment.
for sure.
And
Say
then
that again. Say that again.
when you're living in chaos, that's a sign of misalignment.
And it's so interesting because so many people's nervous systems are so used to the vibration of chaos that they just keep creating it and creating it and creating it and creating it and
Pattern.
creating it.
They feel safe in the chaos because that's what
Yeah,
they grew up with.
yeah.
But if you look at the universe and the unified field, the universe operates in order. Order is heaven's first law. It's not chaos. And so when we're living in chaos, that is literally a sign that, like, you're running a pattern, that you're out of alignment, that somewhere is something is off somewhere. So I always tell my clients, become curious like a scientist, and just like start to
Oh,
look at your life like a scientist. Like, you
so
know,
good.
yeah. And then for me, and then as you ascend, like, your truth becomes, it's like your spiritual self, Sam. The way I look at it is, imagine you had a best friend that you
You're like, and you just have to imagine because you have no friends. Hey, Sam, imagine for a second you had a friend. Okay. was so funny, dude.
Sam, just like
Sam, if you
imagine.
stopped telling those COVID jokes online, maybe you would have a friend.
But
I'm dead. I love you. That was so good.
maybe I should say, like, imagine I had a friend, because clearly I don't. Anyway, so like I
Oh
look
my
at
God.
your intuition and your spiritual self as like your best friend. This is like your knowing side of you, okay? We
Yeah.
all have a spiritual essence. We have four parts of ourselves. We have our intellect, our body, our emotional self, and our spiritual self. And the problem with most people is that we're so disconnected from our spiritual self, so we override it with the intellect or the logical mind. But as you become more in
Yeah.
connection with your spiritual self,
Mm,
she or he starts talking to you more.
yeah.
It's kind of like my point is, if imagine if you had a friend. If you had a best friend, but you stopped calling her, like you
Mm,
stopped connecting with her,
mm,
eventually that relationship would tether.
yeah.
And just like that, I look at my intuition, my knowing, my truth, my spiritual self, like when I commune with her on a daily basis. Like I check in and
Mm.
I'm like, every morning, Sam, I literally say to myself, what's the message for my spiritual self today? That's part of my meditation.
I
And
love
she'll tell
that.
me, you're
I
on the
love
right
that.
track, you're exactly where you need to be,
Mm,
whatever it is. And
mm,
I'm like, thank you, spiritual self. Like I'm literally like having a conversation with her. And
mm.
so because I do, she's more in tune. I feel more in tune with the messages that she's signaling to me.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people, they're incredibly disconnected. I mean, first, people don't even realize that they're anything but a body. You've got the intellect, you've got the emotional self, you've got your body, and you've got your spiritual self. And all four quadrants are equally important. But most people live in the quadrant called either their intellect, or
Yeah.
they overly live in the emotional self or the wounded
Mm,
emotional
mm.
self, or they only live in the body. But most people are not connected to that aspect of the spiritual self. So for people that are listening, it's like even taking on, I have a spiritual self. It is my place of deep knowing. She's always, or he's always guiding me. And when I allow myself to tune into that, like, and I follow that guidance, I'm always on the right path.
Mhm.
And when I override that with logic, I can expect chaos to ensue, which brings us back to where we started. That's my responsibility.
For sure. For sure. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I find it so interesting when I teach breath work to people who've never done breath work before. Right?
Hmm.
There's like this awakening of like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, like I had no idea that that was possible. And I mean, that was my that was also my first response of it of like I had no idea that I had this ability to do this. And for myself, similar to you, the body is the place that I track my truth in. So if
Yes.
I'm inherently disconnected from the innate intelligence in my body, then I am disconnected from my truth. Therefore, I don't have a voice. Therefore, I don't know what's authentic. Therefore, I'm going to imitate everyone else because I don't know what mine is. And I
Exactly.
think the greatest work that we can freaking do is like get to know ourselves, get to know that essence that is living inside of you, get to know why God hired you, get to know that.
Yeah.
Because from that place it's magnetic. It's
100%.
like we never have to ask the question, like, how am I going to make money doing that? Like, I never ask myself that question. It just happens.
Yeah.
Following the truth, following the soul, staying in your heart as like, are we, Adele, myself, and our good friend Stacey Gray are in a little mastermind, which
Yeah.
honestly brings me so much joy. I just like love this for the three of us.
Same.
But like one of the biggest things we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago or whenever that was is like the importance of staying in your heart as an entrepreneur. It's the most important thing that we can do, especially
Yeah.
as women.
Yeah.
Staying in our heart through it all, through all of the hard moments, and just like seeing what arises from that place.
Totally.
And it's so important. But and when, to your point, when we're disconnected from that, when we're 1 degree off of that, things feel chaotic or we create chaos because it's what is
Yeah.
familiar.
And the one thing I'll just say to kind of, I know we're probably going to end soon here, but
No, I
I've read.
got you for 3 hours. I told Dave to loosen up, okay? She's not coming back. She's not coming for dinner, okay? Just kidding.
What I was going to say back to like the example of Kim and Ami, and like this idea of, I think that when you look at the most iconic historical people on the planet who moved societies forward, they were willing to stand on that ledge by themselves and speak their truth, like their channel from God, like what they were hired to speak from that place of love, and deal with massive repercussions. And I think that we're what I really feel is that we're moving into this era where all of the people that are imitating that aren't embodied, it's kind of like those are going to just be like recycled into the dust. No, I'm serious. And I feel, because I've really seen this, because a lot of people who went online in 2020 were doing it because it was easy to make a buck, but then it really did change. And so
You could fart in 2020 and make a million dollars. Like I did it. It was so easy. I'm like, this is unfair. No, like just a side note, I thought I was such a good entrepreneur in 2020. I was like, this is just so fucking easy. And then like 2024 happened and I realized like, wow,
yeah,
I'm not as good as I
2023,
thought.
2022,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was hard. And so
Yeah, it was actually 2022 it started to change.
2022.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
point is that I do believe like we human beings are incredibly in need of leadership, and they
Mm,
want to follow truth that resonates at a frequency that they're aligned with. And when we hold our voice back, we're not permitting ourselves to find and calibrate to the people that are like me with Kim, where I was like, I witnessing what she did, I can't say it enough. It was transformative. Not the
mm.
context or the content. The context, like this chick sat there straight faced and was not even phased that people got off or asked for
Yeah,
refunds. She
yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And
That's
remember,
the second Kim Anami story I heard this week, by the way, and I haven't heard her name in literally
oh,
years. But
oh,
someone else, Jen Pike, also gave me a Kim Anami story the other day where she was like, Kim Anami said that if the woman's the breadwinner, it's never gonna work. It never works. The sex sucks. Like, and that's like her stance on it. She's like, I did. She's like, go and try it. Come back and tell me I'm right.
it's
It's
so
like the bravery. Like again, do I agree? Do I disagree? Like I don't like I have seen it where the breadwinner is the woman and it does really work. I have seen that. So I don't know if I agree with that one fully, but I just love this the context,
the
the
context,
stance,
the
the
stance.
boldness, that this is what it is.
And I think when you look at Kim and Ami's business, um, like, and you just do the math, okay? Like she's killing it.
Yeah.
So there are the people, I guess my point that I'm trying to make is when you stay vanilla and you try to please everybody, you're not actually calling in your dream clients. You're
For
calling
sure.
in yeah. So that was like the
You
example
become
that
forgettable. You become forgettable. Like
she's
why have we talked about Kim a lot, and like these people are going to listen to it and then they're going to go buy her shit because
and I've
she's
referred so many people
yeah.
to Kim.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I spoke about it with Jen. Like I've referred so many people because it was so transformative to me, to not just her body of work, but to witness a woman being willing to be so brave in the face of
Mm.
non-agreement. Like to me, that's true mastery of leadership, and I'm on the way there for sure. But that's my next level is like, what would I say if I just could?
What would you say if you just could?
That's a second episode. That's actually a journal prompt that I'm going to give myself. And you should too. If
Yeah, let's do this together. You know what's funny? I wrote a post the other day because I am in the practice of this as well for sure. And I wrote a post the other day about how like I'm gonna stop saying universe and just saying God because that's always been my come from. I grew up in a Christian household. Blah blah blah. I lost 3,000 followers in one day.
what?
Yeah, but I don't care because it's like if you're whatever,
That's
I
my
don't care.
point.
It's like I don't. Those people would not survive in my programs if they
Well,
came
that's
into my world. Whether they came in and trained
yeah,
at Pause as a breathwork facilitator or joined me in the Life Mastermind, you would hate me in 5 minutes.
exactly.
So I'm so fine with that. I would rather have less, but potent and
Totally.
aligned and like, or
I'm
like
just
I don't even care. Like you don't even have to agree with me, but let's be with each other in the non-agreeance.
I'm just shocked that the word God at this stage got people that triggered. Like that's
I
just a
didn't
tough.
even say Jesus. I just said God.
Yeah. Like so but my point is we should do this exercise if I could say
Okay, I'm
anything
so down.
that
I'm gonna text it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm writing down if I could say anything.
Imagine if you and I just have completely opposite beliefs about everything.
No, I feel like we'll be on the same page, but that doesn't
I
even
think we are
matter.
too. I think we are too.
Thing. If I could say anything, what would I say? And
But if
this,
we weren't, by the way, I wouldn't care.
yeah, of
Like if
course.
you had opposing beliefs
Yeah,
to me about
yeah.
politics, the vaccine,
Mhm.
Trump, Gaza, like all these things, if your beliefs were, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, that is your journey. This is my journey. And I'm going to meet you where our paths intersect. And we're going to
Mhm.
have this beautiful friendship and relationship and like,
Yeah.
let it be. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I just think this is even for viewers that are listening, like do the exercise. If I could say anything, what would I say? And then the question becomes, can I say that from a place of love? Because truth is love. God is love. It's loving, right? It's not condemning or judgmental or
Yeah.
righteous. It's
Yeah.
truth is love. And
Yeah.
that's how, that was my point is like truth resonates at a frequency of love. Like when I drop truth bombs on my clients and they're like something calibrates in their body and they're like,
Yeah.
whoa, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I'm coming from channeling anyway, the divine. And then I'm like, this is what I meant to say here today. Like you and I did not script this at all, but like here we've come to this place of if I could say anything, what would I say? Like what a deep contemplation.
Mm.
And if I could say that from a place of love, then I can hold someone else's point of view and not make it wrong.
That'd be such a great piece of content too, like to pull our audiences. If y'all could say anything on social, what would you say? I'm gonna start with myself. I'm gonna do that today
Yeah,
and I'm gonna text it to you.
I'm gonna do it.
But
Yeah, text
yeah,
it.
let's do it right now.
I feel like I would say you are all crazy. Fucking bitches be crazy.
I
Yeah.
just had a funny thought. I was just gonna write something that's so opposite of my beliefs and send it to you just to hear your reaction. But now I just told you what I was gonna do, so now it's not gonna be funny.
No, I actually want to hear because I feel like we need to hold each other accountable. Another person who does this
Mm.
really well is Rachel Godfrey. I don't know if you follow her.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she did a post the other day that really illuminated for me where I'm still being a chicken shit, to be honest. I'm still being a fucking chicken shit. No, I am. I'm calling myself out.
I love you so much.
I am. I'm being a total fucking chicken shit because and that's probably what's
Mm,
holding me back from
mm.
my next level. And so I think this is a really good exercise.
Well, let's do it and
Okay.
let's inspire the world to speak more truth because the world needs more powerful visionary leaders who are coming from love and coming from truth. And we need less of this vanilla blah, 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 blah. And
Just
like
saying
let the
it.
chips fall as they may. Like, yes, speak your truth. You're going to get a lot of people who are like, oh my God, yes, 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 yes. And you're going to get, people who are not aligned. And that is beautiful. That is okay. We get to have that.
Like I'll say this last thing before we go. Like this is a great example where I remember posting something about being Jewish and like lost followers. Okay. Like this is the era that we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I hadn't been in this work, that would have been devastating.
Yeah.
But my literal first reaction was like, if that's why you're leaving, you should definitely leave.
See ya. Yeah.
But not from a place of hurt. I was just like, yeah, you're gonna like if I withhold, you're eventually gonna find out anyway.
100%.
And
100%.
so I think that's the point that I'm illuminating you with this question. Like, where do we not speak our truth fully, or we hide parts of ourselves because we don't want to be abandoned?
Yeah.
That is such a wounded place.
100%. 100%. Oh, dang, this is good, girl. This is good. We're gonna leave it at that on that note. Adele, thanks for coming on, babe.
I need to hear your text about what you want to say.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna send it
Don't play
right
me. Don't
now.
fucking play me. Like, tell me the real
No,
deal.
I will. And take a screenshot, upload it to Instagram. I'm just kidding. Hey guys, if you want to know what Sam Skelly really believes, here it is. Go cancel her.
I love you, my friend. I
Oh
feel
my
so
God, I love
grateful
you
for
so
this
much. This has been so fun. We'll
conversation.
catch you on the flip side.
Okay, bye.
Can't be contained.